Ferrari-Lamborghini shootouts are the old firm derbies of the automotive world. Tense meetings of mid-engine minds where one car is guaranteed to come home bruised. And for this Italian supercar grudge match, we've come to some brilliant Welsh roads to pit the Ferrari F430 against Lamborghini's new Gallardo LP560. First up, the F430. Great grandson to the car Tom Selleck drove in Magnum and the most affordable car in Ferrari's range. For £138,000, you get a V8 behind your ears driving the rear wheels, a chassis developed at the same place Ferrari hones its F1 cars, and some spectacular looking aero goodies which actually work. We've always had a bit of a soft spot for the F430 car. 3 years ago we named it our Performance Car of the Year. Not just because it's fast or fun, and it is both of those things, but it's a car you can use, you're not intimidated to use, you can see out of it, it's got an upright windscreen, high driving position. It might not feel that special to sit here, but you're not intimidated to use the performance, and there is a lot of performance. 4.3 litre V8, it's got 483 horsepower and it's rear-wheel drive. You won't trouble a Veyron in a straight fight from the traffic lights with the F430, but it's still really quick. 483 horsepower means 0 to 62 in 4 seconds, and it revs to 8,500. It feels like a race car engine. The romantic in you might like to think of Ferraris having open metal gear selector gates. Now you can still get that, but 90% of people will go for this F1 transmission with paddles behind here. Is it any good? To be honest, it's past its sell-by days. It's not that smooth, and even with this selector here to race, the changes aren't as fast as they could be. The cabin's showing signs of age too. There's no room here for a full-screen sat-nav system. Even supercar buyers want to know where they're going. And while I love this huge central rev counter here, the rest of the instruments look a little bit scrappy. But I can forgive all of that because every time I look in the rearview mirror, I see those red crackle induction plenums. It just makes me want to do this. But whatever Ferrari can do, Lamborghini reckons it can do even better. While the £147,000 Gallardo LP560 doesn't have the same motorsport heritage as the Ferrari, it looks even wilder, and it has a 5.2 litre V10 and four-wheel drive to make sure all the energy it churns out doesn't go up in tyre smoke. So what is the 564? Well, it's the updated version of the standard Gallardo. 560 stands for 560 PS, which is the metric equivalent horsepower. It's actually got 552 brake horsepower, which is more than even the hardcore Superleggera had. This is a seriously fast car. So the Ferrari is a quick car, 0 to 62, 4 seconds. But this thing does it in 3.7. What that actually means is that in any gear you choose, the Lamborghini will leave the Ferrari for dead. It is massively quicker. It's got much stronger brakes too. Ceramics are optional on this car, they're standard on the Ferrari. The only problem with the Lamborghini's brakes is they're tricky to modulate. That initial tip-in, there's a lot of weight there, but nothing actually happens, and then you suddenly get into the meat of the action. It can make for jerky progress. But you need good brakes on a car like this. Like the Ferrari, you can still have an old-fashioned stick shift manual, but most buyers will go for the paddle shift. It's not a dual clutch box like Porsche's just introduced or you can get in a TT. It's the old style single clutch box, so it's not as refined, but Lamborghini has done a lot of work to smooth it out. This year, when you order the E-gear, you get a new button on the console. It's the Corsa button. You press that and the gears are slammed home brutally fast. You know, you wouldn't want to drive around town with the button depressed. It's far too uncomfortable. But out on roads like this, it really does add to the experience. The weighting's really good. It's really realistic. You can lean on it. There's a lot of confidence from this car. A lot more confidence than in the Ferrari. Corners very flatly, less roll, less understeer, and of course being four-wheel drive, you can get the power down really early. There's not a lot changed inside for this 564 compared to the old Gallardo. The most noticeable thing are these horrific fake chrome plastic switch tops. Equally nasty is this plastic bottom on the flat bottom steering wheel. I don't really like flat bottom wheels anyway, they're a bit gimmicky, and this one feels horrendous. But there's no faulting the rest of the cabin. The quality's great, the driving position is fantastic, the visibility isn't that good because you've got this sporty MPV window which just seems to end at the bonnet. But it feels like an event driving this car. We spent 3 days driving these two great supercars on some of the most fabulous driving roads in Britain. We expected it to be close. We already loved the Ferrari. It was our performance car of the year from 2005. And the 560 Gallardo, I drove it a few weeks ago and I was deeply impressed in Vegas, but not blown away. But on these roads, I was blown away. It really does move the game on. If you want to read the full story, get the September issue of Car Magazine.